A new National Post Ledger poll shows Mark Carney and the Liberals surging to a 3-point lead over the Conservatives at 42 to 39. A stark contrast from just months ago when the Conservatives held a double-digit lead and were on track for a supermajority. The NDP, once a darling of the progressive left, has also imploded to just 9%. So what's behind this seismic shift? Well, a perfect storm. Trudeau resigned, Trump launched a tariff and annexation war, while Carney, the unelected global finance poster boy, steamrolled the Liberal leadership race with 86% of the vote. The nationalist backlash against Trump sent Liberal support soaring, especially in urban centers like Toronto, which is up 30 points, and Quebec, where they now lead. Young voters, once leaning 47 to 14 in favor of the Conservatives, are now tied at 38%. Women now favor Liberals, 45 to 34, while the NDP collapsed funneled votes straight to Carney, who's selling himself as Canada's anti-Trump savior. Polls show him leading Poilievre on the economy, 45 to 31, U.S. relations, 42 to 29, and climate change, 40 to 13, though Poilievre still wins on affordability and spending cuts. But this is insane. Carney's track record shows he serves global elites and not Canadians. His ascent is being sold as a triumph of competence and stability, but dig into his record, and it's a house of cards built on hype and hubris. As Bank of England governor, he championed net zero policies that prioritized ideology over economic reality, while his hands-on approach also tanked the pound by 15%. At the Bank of Canada, Carney slashed rates to 0.25%, flooding markets with cheap cash. As a result, home prices soared 80% from 2008 to 2013, and now, under his watchful guise, the Liberals have priced an entire generation out of home ownership. Then there's his refusal to disclose conflicts of interest, especially troubling given his ties to Brookfield Asset Management, a company he chaired and owns tens of millions of dollars in deferred shares and stock options, which he relocated to the US to make more money, which has several ongoing green energy projects in Canada, which he now has the power to accelerate. There's also the confusion of a man that can't speak French, worth a shit, taking a significant lead in Quebec, where fluency matters, yet somehow he's polling at 40%, leapfrogging the Bloc at 24 and Conservatives at 23. But, my sane and logical thinking friends, there's hope. 26% of Canadians still don't have an opinion on Carney. That's a blank canvas waiting to be painted. However, according to sources, an election will be called in just a few days, which means they've got to move fast. So, here's the playbook. 1. Expose Carney's globalist ties, which obviously I'm trying to do. His Brookfield conflicts, net zero obsessions, and Bay Street over Main Street roots must be hammered home. 2. Double down on affordability. Poilievre has concrete plans to cut taxes, make housing affordable, lower grocery prices, and reduce the size of government, while Carney has promised 3 more years of deficits. 3. Neutralize the Trump factor. Poilievre must tackle this head on. A dollar-for-dollar tariff war isn't the answer, and Trump himself just admitted he'd prefer Carney because it will be easier to get what he wants. This message needs to spread far and wide. 4. Reclaim the youth vote. Get back on TikTok, hit campuses, and talk jobs, not just taxes. And finally, get back in the fight. Napoleon said never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. Trudeau was a one-man wrecking ball, and Poilievre was wise to let him fail, but Carney made this a fight, so the Conservatives need to get back in the ring, because if they don't move fast to tear down Carney's carefully crafted image and refocus on what actually matters to Canadians, they'll be left wondering how a guy who can barely speak French stole their election. So if you're concerned and you're Canadian, now's the time to speak up.